Hello, North Creek Church. You know, there may be some places in the world where people really need to use their imagination. They need to stretch a little bit to understand what Jesus is talking about when he talks about living water, bubbling up, flowing up to abundant life. Well, I think here in Western Washington, talking about water doesn't take a whole lot of imagination. God has blessed this corner of the world with gorgeous water. Our beautiful Puget Sound, our beautiful rivers, and all of the lakes, like Martha Lake, where I am right now. And people here know how to take advantage of it, know how to enjoy it, so that a really good day involves a day on the sailboat, maybe taking a ferry, or maybe even a sea kayak. Which is why when I moved here, I thought, a great way to really explore and understand the beauty of this place is to buy a sea kayak, which I did 3 years ago, and I have brought it down to Martha Lake. I've put it in via the dock of Joan and Tom Ebley, and I figured it would be a great place to talk about living water. Because one of the things I've discovered is being down so close to the water, using this to explore all sorts of lakes and rivers and Puget Sound, I have discovered living water. I've discovered all sorts of living things in the water. I've discovered harbor seals and sea otters and blue herons and bald eagles. Right here in Martha Lake, I've seen a beaver. And it is the abundant and kind of overflowing effusion of life that water brings. So I don't recall any particular passages in the New Testament where Jesus taught about sea kayaking. Taught all sorts of things about water. Kurt preached about the house built on the sand, the house built on the rock. We're going to be talking about all sorts of other stories about water that Jesus told. But one thing I've discovered about sea kayaking, it kind of took me by surprise, is that you're going along and there's a few ways that you can turn. Some of them involve using the paddle. Most of those, though, you lose momentum that you've worked so hard to get up. Turns out that the most efficient way to turn is to get up on the edge of the kayak, to get up all the way at the balance point on the edge of the kayak. And rather counterintuitively, the kayak turns the opposite direction from the edge you get on. Now you can see this sets up a problem. It means that when you get up on the edge, that your momentum is going the opposite direction. And so you are up on the balance point and you're turning in the opposite direction, and it feels like you're going to go over. And as a beginner, that's what it feels like. But as you get more and more confident that you're in your own balance, you get more and more confident in the water, you realize that going over to the edge, going just to the level beyond your comfort zone, is a beautiful and effective way to turn. What a great lesson for following Jesus. If we want to turn, if we want our life to change, we got to go beyond our comfort zone. We got to get up on an edge. And what we discover is that we can trust Jesus and amazing things happen with our life. So my hunch is that right now you're feeling kind of on edge. You are tired of isolation, tired of this whole coronavirus. I want you to hang in there and know God's love, know the connection of this congregation. But I also wonder, in the midst of that, what would it mean for you to take a risk, to get up on edge? What would it mean in your following Jesus? What would it mean in your faith? Might it mean a relationship that you have in your life, picking up a phone and healing that relationship? Might it mean thinking about how you treat your spouse or your family members and what Jesus might intend? Might it mean repenting of something in your life or changing something in your life? Might it mean finally getting help with an addiction or reaching out because you're lonely? All of those things are a bit beyond the comfort zone. But what I think is when we get up on edge, that's when God honors what we're doing and helps us to change directions. So one of the things we're not going to take a big risk about is opening up the life of the church too quickly. We are closely following what the governor's been saying, the 4 phases, kind of wondering with worship, with the rest of the life of the church, how are we going to phase this? We're not going to be leading the pack. We're going to take it slow and careful, and we're going to communicate really carefully with all of you about what that means. For the meantime, right now, though, of course, we're still in phase 1. We are going to be live streaming worship. As we say each week, if you need anything, let us know. Get on the website. There's a prayer form. If you need groceries, if you need someone to talk to, if you want to contribute to the food drive, any of those things, get on our website. I hope you're doing okay this week. I hope with some of the restrictions, like parks getting opened up a little bit, you're able to get outside and enjoy God's beautiful nature. And I hope that the living water of Jesus is bubbling up in your life to abundant life. See you on Sunday.